Hello and welcome to the second match of our huge NPL Northern New South Wales Grand Final day here at Magic Park. What is set to be another fantastic championship bout. We've got the Newcastle Jets 18s up against Hamilton Olympic. But before we get to the game, CT, he's down there on the ground with a special guest.
Yeah, thanks, Q. It's great to be amongst the action down here at Magic Park. We're in the thick of it. It's got the Olympic sides coming out, and we're just going to get a hold of Daniel Dawkins. Thanks for joining us, Daniel.
No worries at all. Thank you.
Big occasions today. Players obviously all pumped up.
Yep, definitely. They're ready to go. Loving it.
Look, the pitch is in pretty good condition. For the people that haven't seen it just yet, it looks great. A few little bumps, but for this time of the year, it's perfect. Look, what are some of the key messages you're giving to your team today?
Oh, be strong, be composed, and make sure they're disciplined throughout the whole game. They know the structure they need to play, so they've just got to get out there, do the job, and enjoy.
And players to watch. Who's a couple for us?
Probably Nick up front at 9's quite good. They've got a couple of tidy midfielders as well, so it's just sort of a whole good fit out, so it'd be great to play against.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, that's Daniel. Thank you very much, and good luck for the game.
Thank you very much.
Q, back up to you.
Thanks, ET. Brilliant to hear from the coach heading into this one. A magical day here at Magic Park. It is second versus fourth in this one. The Newcastle Jets side, who possess both the best attack and defence in the league, entering this one as favourites. However, they come up against an Hamilton Olympic side who downed the premiers in the semi-finals and who will be eager to go back-to-back in the under-20s NPL Northern New South Wales Championship. Thank you for joining us here on Bar TV Sports. My name is Quentin Connors, also known as Q. It's great to be with you today. I am joined by Broadmeadow Magic legend and football legend of the Hunter, Peter Haynes. Pete, welcome aboard, mate. How great is it? Fantastic grand final day.
Yeah, Q, good to be here, mate. It's what an absolute magical day, as you said. The sun's shining, the wind died down. There's a great crowd in early, and the atmosphere is really pumping already for this 20s grand final. Can't wait.
Well, we're just going to go back down to CT once more just before kick-off here as the teams are ready to go.
Yeah, look, it's right in the thick of the action here, as I said before. Both teams are out in the park with them. They're ready to go. Should be a close game, and looking forward to it. As I said, the pitch is looking really good, and perfect day. Back to you, Quentin.
Thank you, CT. He's our sideline reporter here for this afternoon's game. As we said, two teams who have been fantastic throughout the year, and Pete as well, as we'll go through the lineups in just a moment. But obviously, Newcastle Jets heading into this one as favourites. Hamilton Olympic finished fourth and 8 points away from the Jets on the table. But as you would know from many grand final experiences of your own, that when it comes to grand final day, anything can happen, can't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And Hamilton's not only got such a strong history in football in the region generally, but this competition, for some reason, they have been so strong over the years. I remember back, even when I was playing, they almost had a stranglehold in this competition. Their depth in their club has been quite phenomenal over a number of years, and look, it's a bit of a cliche, but regardless of the form coming into this one, Hamilton are going to be so strong and so hard to beat, so I'm looking forward to a really competitive match.
Well, it is the Hamilton Olympic Under-20s third grand final in a row. They won last year, lost the year before against Maitland, the same team they beat in 2018, so it's third time in a row as a ball here into a dangerous position. We'll go through the lineups in just a moment when we get a chance. It's almost a bit of a defensive mix-up, cleared away in the end there. As we said, the Jets will be heading into this one as the out-and-out favourites for this. Coming in at second, had a pretty solid campaign in 2019. But the Jets lineup for today, number 4 is Adam Sherritt, number 2 is Brendan Knowles, number 10 is Bailey Wells, number 8 is Joe Langlois, number 6 is Nick Curran, number 11, Nick Martinelli, number 18, the goalkeeper Brody Volkini, number 7, Blake Archbold, number 5 is Pat Bond, number 9, Ethan Pollard Smith. There's a goal kick given there for Hamilton. Their goalkeeper today, Jez Murray, who's featured a lot in the Hamilton Olympic first grade side. Number 22, Jacob Kresnar. Number 10, Jared Muller. Number 15, Alex Grant. Number 5 is Kyle Theokis. Number 8 is Tim Stewart. Number 17, Connor Henderson. Number 20, Kane Treble. Number 4 is Kai Fashon. And number 6, Tom Stewart. Number 14 is Vince Unal. And that is the starting lineup for Hamilton for this afternoon's match. Just playing a 1-2 there. Henderson cutting it out though. Jets retaining the ball, looking for Wells there. Treble now, dishing it off the side. Bit of a slip there in the middle of the park there. Tim Stewart. One back by Cohen, and now he swings it out wide to Pollard Smith. For a low ball into the box, it almost found his target. Feedback on the ball. Jets looking to keep it. They often play that very possession-based style of football. It can often be frustrating for other teams to defuse when they're just trying to keep the ball so much, although it can also play against the Jets sometimes. We've seen them, quite often, especially even in the A-League level, when you're trying to keep the ball so much around your defensive end, you can often be a bit of a pain, can't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the way that Hamilton have structured themselves just early on in this one, they're probably prepared to let the Jets have the majority of the possession of the football early doors, just to feel things out and make sure that they're nice and tight, that their defensive structure is sound, and they're able to cope with things first and foremost, and they'll work their way into the game. They'll probably look to get the Jets on transition when they can, and once they've got the ball, so you see an opportunity there. Once they've got the ball, do exactly what they're doing now and try and break with numbers.
Almost given over the sideline there, but the Jets able to keep it in. Nick Cohen was a man. Now getting taken on. Jacob Kresner wins the ball back. He's another player of this team that spent quite a bit of time in the first grade squad as well. There's a lot of these Hamilton Olympic 20s players that have actually played a lot in the first grade side, whether they be coming off the bench or starting themselves. Been quite a bit of rotation from Pete McGuinness, the first grade coach, and you can only think that's going to be beneficial for a game like this, coming back into the 20s after playing a bit in the first grade.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Q, and it's probably the one thing that the Jets players this age group don't actually get. They don't get a lot of opportunities to play with and against men in football that is all about results, I'll say that. So there is quite a bit of experience, despite their young age in the Hamilton side. You can see they look to be a much more mature physically team. There's a couple of big boys out there, and it's going to be a tough day for some of the Jets players, especially in the middle of the park when it starts to get physical. But yeah, I'm interested to see just how the Hamilton players use that experience, and especially as the game goes on, when things get tight and the nerves start to come into play a little bit, just what effect that has on the game.
Well, big matches need big players, and Hamilton have got their big players. So too do the Jets. A shot there going wide of the goal. Goal kick to come, but Newcastle Jets, as we said, finished in second place, 42 points to their name this season. Hamilton not too far behind in fourth, 5 points behind, but the Jets have scored 65 goals over this 2019 campaign and conceded just 19 first in both areas of this year's under-20s competition. So although they came second, they were probably one of the better sides. There's some quick feet there from Pollard Smith. Now trying to find his man in the box. Bailey Wells now with his foot on the ball, getting at the defence. A bit of space in front of him as well. Goes for the shot. It's blocked, and now a bit of space and time. Out wide for Martinelli. He's the big goal scorer. Jez Murray needs to track back to collect that one, but does with ease in the end. Nick Martinelli, number 11 for the Jets side. He's going to be one to watch out for today. Scored a bucket load of goals this season. The golden boot of the competition, 17 goals from his 18 games, and also includes 3 hat-tricks this season. So he'll be definitely be one to watch out for. Had a bit of experience as well playing in the Jets youth side. There's a ball coming into the box now. Might fall back here for Kane Treble. Trying to get a clear shot away, and in the end just duffs it back. They'll keep the ball though, Olympic. Alex Grant there giving to Jacob Kresner. Now he's going a bit of a run. A bit of a dangerous run and a risky run to play in those positions, and Treble duffing that crossover and going to be given away.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a risky one there, Q, but the idea is right. And I just heard before, and the coaching staff down there, Daniel Dawkins and Paul DeVitas for Hamilton Olympic, just asking their fullbacks to step in when they have an opportunity to try and step past that first line and create an extra player in midfield. Probably a few hearts in mouths at the moment when Kresner stepped in and almost got tackled, but the theory is right.
Maybe a chance here if Murray made a mistake. He didn't know. He collected it cleanly. Gave no chance for Pollard Smith of scoring. While we look at the some of the players that have shined for the Jets. I mean, Blake Archbold as well. He's been great in the goal scoring department, 11 goals, bit of first grade experience as well. Freddie Volkini as well, the goalkeeper. He's also been a man who's had a bit of experience in the first grade. Considering as well Noah James spending a bit of time overseas, battling with injuries every now and then. There's a free kick now coming for the Jets. A bit of a good position as well if they can get this one into the danger area, into the penalty area. Maybe cause a bit of havoc for the Hamilton defence. The ball coming in now. It's not a good cross though. It's easily cleared away. And now maybe there's a chance here. Tom Muller up behind the defender, trying to, Jad Muller I should say. Jad Muller actually one of the leading goal scorers for Hamilton Olympic this year. Been one of the players that has been a promising star of the Hamilton Olympic club coming through in the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, looks good, Q. He's obviously got a bit of pace. He's scored a few goals already this season, as you mentioned. He'll be a pretty direct outlet, I think, from Hamilton, especially in once they recover the ball, whether it's from set pieces or just in broken play. I think Muller will be one of the first outlets if they can find him nice and early.
He scored 11 goals this year, 19 games in the under-20s, but he's also played, you don't often see this, he's played in all three grades of the senior competition, 18s, 20s and first grade this season. And last year when he was playing in the under-16s competition, scored 40 goals in 25 games. So it's a bit of a rapid rise for Jared Muller.
Good return.
You can only think that he's destined for great things in first grade as well as he progresses to the ranks. Is cleared away now. Jets dominating most of the possession at the moment. Hamilton unable to really get their foot on the ball and keep the ball, but they're doing well keeping their defensive structure at the moment. Jets unable to really break them down, but on that occasion Crescent giving away a free kick at the far side of Nick Martinelli.
And it's, I get the feeling it's going to be a match of two clear strategies here. I mean, the Jets, we know what they're about. We know their style of play. They like to get the ball down, and they've got some players with really good feet, nice and tidy. They like to play nice short combination play. Hamilton, on the other hand, especially in this game, as we see this free kick swung in.
Cleared away in the end, though.
We see in this game already they're happy to soak up the pressure. They're happy from set pieces, goal kicks, free kicks to go a little bit longer. We've seen them, especially come down this right side a little bit further to push their fullbacks up, get numbers around the ball, and look to use their physicality and try and get the second ball. So whether that's something that Daniel Dawkins is just working on in the first 15 or 20 minutes, or whether it's a longer strategy against the Jets, we'll see.
Well, Nick Martinelli now, he does showcasing some good skill there, but he is able to win a corner in the end, but referee overrules that decision by the linesman and says goal kick instead. Some nice quick feet from Martinelli there to right on the byline as well.
Yeah, good feet, Martinelli. Look to it's what you want your players to do in those wide areas. You want those one-on-one opportunities. You want them to be nice and positive, attack that byline and see if they can whip balls back across the 6-yard box. Didn't quite get the return on that occasion, but good signs.
Well, just to showcase as well how dominant the Jets have been this year, despite finishing in second. Broadmeadow Magic, they were the premiers. The last week or the last 2 weeks in the semi-finals, Hamilton had an absolute scrap. It was 1-1. They won on away goals against Broadmeadow Magic. Newcastle Jets won 11-1 on aggregate against Lake Macquarie. So you don't often ever see that in a semi-finals contest.
No, you don't, and that's the risk that you run if you if you want to go 1-for-1 and you give the Jets time and space and you allow them to get comfortable and work themselves into the game. They're able to do that to you. They can, they've got very, very talented players who are all over the park that can hurt you. And I think what we're seeing at the moment is Hamilton recognising and appreciating that, and they're looking to put pressure on the ball all over the park and turn this into a bit of a physical one early on to buy some respect into the game, buy some time.
Muller now trying to get a shot away, didn't really get it off cleanly though. He's appealing for a deflection for the Jets, but there wasn't any, the referee says. And like you said, Pete, as well, earlier in the coverage, that the battle of the midfield looks to be one of the all-important at the moment. If the midfield can keep that structure to them and keep battling in there for that second phase ball and whatnot, I think that's going to be the all-important feature of this game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We just saw Poland there just getting into a really good position as we see the cross come across. Shout for handball.
Referee waves it away, gives a corner kick though.
Yeah, as we saw Poland just in a great position there, just on the attacking side of halfway. He's just put himself in between the defenders and just high enough so that he can receive that in a decent amount of space, turn and face, and then the game opens up. So Hamilton have really got to be careful that the likes of Poland, especially Bailey Wells, that we, the viewers probably know a lot about. He's a very talented player that has lots of raps on him. If they have the ability to turn and face and run with the ball, it could be a bit of trouble for Hamilton.
Corner kick coming now, swinging back in towards the keeper. Not sure if anyone got a touch on it, but it's going to be a goal kick nonetheless.
Yeah, and one thing that just looking down there at the Hamilton bench, Dawkins and DeVitas, one thing that they will absolutely not want to see is the Jets winning headers off free kicks and corners. There's one thing that they definitely are. It's a much taller team, much more physical than the Jets, and that should be bread and butter for the Hamilton side, but a close call.
We should stress as well for the viewers who may not watch all too much lower grade NPL action that this Jets side is under 18 up against the Olympic side who is under 20s, of course. Jets playing up an age group, and we just saw earlier as well in the day the Newcastle Jets 16s side defeating Adamstown Rosebud, I should say, 4-0 to win their under 18s championship. Second year in a row that the Jets have won that title. Hamilton Olympic trying to make their own second row. Muller now on the volley. Half volley, hitting some bystanders, not really paying attention.
Didn't drop his beer. Well done. That's what we're talking about there, Q. The free kick. I mean, Hamilton, they're not going to be too concerned about being the prettiest side on the park today. And fair call. They've got that ball. They've played a long one into a dangerous area, getting people in and around it to win the second one. And they've gotten a shot on target. So, clear strategy.
Bailey Wells now, he's got a bit of space in front of him. Instead goes to Archibald. He's onside as well. Goes shots. Murray just parries it away. Thought he might have decided to go for a cross instead in that position, but a bit of an acute angle to take the shot on.
Yeah, the pass was just a little bit wayward. The first touch wasn't as good as probably what he would have wanted there, and it just didn't allow him to have the angle really to have a great shot on target. He did enough and worked the goalkeeper. Jez Murray was good enough to parry that one away and keep his clean sheet. But a good opportunity there, and we saw Bailey Wells on the ball causing troubles, as we said. When he's facing forward, he's got the ball at his feet, and he can have time to pick his pass. He's a very, very dangerous footballer.
Jez Murray, one of those players we said spent a lot of time in the first grade environment this season, covering for Tyler Warren, who's been out this year, most of the back half of the year for Hamilton. He'll need to be called upon, I imagine, a lot in this one here today. They conceded 40 goals in the space of the competition, looking for Archibald on that cross there, but not finding him. Jared Muller now trying to pounce on the loose ball. Back at the feet of Jets youth though, Langlois to Richardson.
Just on Jez Murray there, what a luxury it is, whether it's by design or by just a situation to have your goalkeeper in a grand final. Such a big game that's had so much first grade experience, just to be able to guide your fullbacks around the park, to be able to calm them down, to give them advice, especially in a game like this where, with all due respect, they're probably going to have less of the ball than the opposition. So a good calming figure at the back there, not to mention a really good goalkeeper in Jez Murray.
Was interesting as well that when we look at the starting lineups for both sides, one exclusion from the starting lineup for Hamilton Olympic, Blake Blumel. He's actually the second leading goal scorer for Hamilton this season, and he's starting on the bench, which, although may be the case throughout the year, it's interesting that you would start one of your better goal scorers on the bench in a game like this. Obviously, defence looking to be the key of the day for the Olympic side. It's a free kick given away there by Joe Langlois.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Q. Obviously, Daniel and Paul, the coaching staff at Hamilton, have done their research and analysis of the game, and they've obviously identified an opportunity to bring him on maybe a little bit later in the game once it's cooled down a little bit, or once the sting's been taken out of the game where it can do some damage. But we'll see. We'll see. The proof will be in the pudding.
Hamilton heading into this one with a bit of form under their belt though as well. They've won their past 6 games. Undefeated, we should say, in the past 6 games. They haven't been beaten. The last loss they actually had was back in mid-July. That was against, you guessed it, the Jets. Last 2 times earlier this season when they faced one another, the Jets won 3-0 and then 3-1 again. There's maybe a chance here for Uni. He's got the ball at his feet, but I think he's just lost where his teammate was, Jared Muller.
Yeah, good opportunity there from Uni. He just didn't get his head up and didn't have the composure on that instance to pick his pass, unfortunately, but it certainly did open up there. Probably should say as well, Q, this potentially could be the last time that we see the Jets in the NPL Northern New South Wales.
Could be.
Their application's in for Football New South Wales, and decision will be made later this month as to where they'll be playing their football, so could be the end of an era.
Maybe wanting to go out on a winner as well would be a good way to go out, winning the 2 championships in the one day. Obviously, we've seen a little bit in the last couple of years as well, a bit more of a focus on that winning mentality rather than just the development that we have seen in years before. And obviously, the recent results have shown proof of that as well. Richardson getting in behind to Martinelli, who's switched over to sides now. Another feature from this style of play the Jets like to show. Langway was looking for a little ball in behind there. Maybe been looking for Bailey Wells, but found only Jez Murray.
Yeah, you could see what he's trying to do there, Langway. A little reverse pass. He a little bit of eye contact there with Bailey Wells. He saw the run or the half run from Bailey. Good intentions, just didn't quite execute the way that he would have liked to. But that's what the Jets have. That's what they're about. They've got the ability to unlock those tight defences.
As well, getting the ball back for his side, and now it's just belted down the field looking for Blake Archibald. He's going to keep it in. Once Bailey Wells, who was a member of the team that won the 18 years championship last year. They won 7-1 in McDonald Jones Stadium. A lot of these players actually for the Jets played in that team as well, the under-16 side that won the 18 years championship. There's also a lot of players that played in the under-20s grand final last year for Hamilton that day as well, that are also featuring again today. 7 of the same Olympic players that won that grand final last year featuring today. So there's grand final experience on both sides of the coin here. Free kick to the Jets there. Nick Martinelli being fouled. This crowd starting to pour in as we get prepared for our huge main event coming later on from 3 p.m. Maitland FC up against the Edgeworth Eagles in first grade. Turn our attention back to this one though. Joe Langlois with a long cross, finding the head of Archibald, and it's back into the danger area. Not disposed of just yet. Maybe now a chance to break for Hamilton, but it's playing back up. Headed on by Pat Brown back into the area, and just continuing to put that pressure on the Hamilton defence at the moment. And it can be so frustrating as well in terms of when you're Hamilton and you're just unable to keep the ball, you're unable to get any kind of attacking prowess going. When you're just under the pump constantly, it can often just play against you the whole game, can't it?
Yeah, exactly right, Q. And what they've really got to start and do is to, while they try to get some territory here, I think they're just trying to turn the Jets around at times and look to get out from their own 18-yard box. But they really do need to concentrate on that first or second pass once they do regain possession to keep the ball and just give their teammates a chance to get into a position where they can actually build some possession. At the moment, you see they win the ball, they turn it over on the first or second pass, and it's just coming back at them all the time. very important that we see some of their probably more experienced players just get hold of the ball, make sure that first or second pass sticks, and then look to build from there to work their way up the park.
It's very tiring as well when you're just running around defending the whole game. Also, you almost use up all your energy defending, and then when it comes to attacking, that's you have nothing left as Richardson now.
In saying that, you know, Hamilton, without the ball, they'd be fairly comfortable where things are at the moment. They haven't given away any really good chances. They've been happy for the Jets to play in front of them for long periods of this half. So while they haven't had a lot of the ball, I think they'd be fairly content with where things are at the moment.
Just over halfway gone in this first half. Remember, 40-minute halves in the under-20s. Only 45 in first grade as Uni now. Ball on the nearest touchline. He again gives it away. Just unable to find the foot of his teammate Jared Muller.
Yeah, and that's the one we're talking about there, Q. So they've done well. They've regained the ball, and then Uni, on pretty much the first possession, he's turned it over, and he's asked his players to make a run to support. He turns it over, and then they've got to run back another 15 or 20 to start and defend again. Very frustrating, and it does take its toll when it's so unnecessary. Jets, on the other hand, they've controlled this half pretty well. They've good possession for long periods of the half. They've created a couple of half chances, but I think moving into half time, they probably want to create a few more opportunities. Probably want to try and get in and around the Hamilton defence a little bit more and look for those little cutbacks, trying to get Bailey Wells, Nick Curran on the ball in better areas higher up the park. And definitely looking for the attackers like Martin Elliott is starting to get things on target. We haven't really seen Jez Murray work too much, maybe one or two times early on, Q, but nothing that you would say that he's struggled with.
As we said, that it can be so frustrating for Hamilton to continue to play without the ball. It can even be more frustrating for the Jets to have so much of the ball and not create many chances at all. Now a long shot here again, but just skies it into the crowd. As more and more people start to pour through the gates.
It's a good crowd building. It's really good. You can see lots of black and white behind the tennis centre end. Lots of Maitland fans making their way into the game.
Well, how good's grand finals, AP? You've played in many yourself. You've won a few also. I mean, it's experiences that you just remember forever, don't you?
It is. They're great days, and it's I was reminiscing this morning with the wife at home. Remember the days when you wake up on grand final day and get yourself ready, and it seems like a long time ago now, Q. But nothing better. Turning up here and seeing your teammates you put so much time and effort into your season. You've worked so hard, and finally get an opportunity to play on grand final day in front of a big crowd.
The cross comes in now, and it's been back in the back of the net, but it is going to be a free kick, I believe.
Yeah, free kick. Good call from the referee.
Although it seems, is it going to be a free kick? Hamilton's still celebrating.
Oh, he's given a goal. No, free kick.
I don't know, we're back to a free kick.
Free kick. I thought for a minute he'd given the goal.
Well, me too, but confusion. It's going across the field. Hamilton, I think, is still a bit confused as well. They were celebrating like it was a goal. So I heard his whistle early and felt it was a free kick straight away, but
yeah, he was he was on top of that one early, the referee. It was a good call from my view. I think he backed into him and just didn't give him an opportunity to catch the ball, the goalkeeper, and it made its way into the net, but a good call, referee.
Keegan Pulick, the referee this afternoon's game.
To be fair, might have got a little bit of confirmation from his linesman on this near side as well, so good work from the officials on that occasion.
Still 0-0 here then. No goals just yet in the under-20s NPL grand final. Is it a chance here? That was late. Maybe seeing a yellow card here as well. It is going to be a yellow card.
Yeah, not a whole lot of malice in that one, I don't think, Q. I think it was two players looking to win ball for their team, and yeah, maybe a little bit mistimed, but I don't think there was much in that one.
Kyle Theakis getting the first yellow card of the game. There was a chance there as well if he if he was maybe just a little bit earlier, could smother the clearance. It would have been daylight between him and the goals there, but free kick nonetheless. Jets with their feet back on the ball once more again. And like you said earlier, Pete, as well, not all too many chances for either team just yet. We obviously just had a goal disallowed just moments ago. And there was one earlier one as well for Nick Martinelli against Jez Murray from a rather acute angle down the other end. But other than that, not too many chances yet in this grand final, and we're almost bordering the 30-minute mark in this one.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a cagey affair. I think it's been a good game. It's been some good football without a lot of chances. So, look, we'll see how this one opens up. I'd stand by my opinion earlier. I think the Jets really need to see Martinelli's on the ball.
Maybe a chance here, but his shot just goes well high and well wide also.
But you know what? That's probably what the Jets want to see a little bit more of. You know, Bailey Wells high up the park, just outside the box in a central area, facing forward. Combination there with Martinelli, who gets a half turn and a shot. You know, not necessarily on target on that occasion, but the intent is good. It's much better. So the possession is one thing from a Jets perspective. Yes, it's good to keep the ball. It's good to control the game. But at the end of the day, it is all about getting the ball into an area where you can affect the goalkeeper. So that was, from my opinion, that was much better little passage from the Jets.
The last few times they've faced the Jets this year, they haven't been able to keep them scoreless. In fact, Jets have scored 3 goals on both occasions. However, when Hamilton faced the Premiers, the team that they knocked out in the semi-finals just last week, when they faced Magic 4 times this year, they didn't lose 1 game. Shows that they can bring it in the big games. There's a shot there, again going high and wide.
The trees are copping a workout behind the goals queue.
The crowd might have to take cover every now and then in this game, focus a little bit more than they might.
As we see, while the goal keeps being taken, a couple of Edgeworth players, Aaron Pedisano. Sorry, Aaron. See him arriving. One of the first players I've seen. So obviously keen to get a good preparation in before the match. A couple of others streaming in now in the Edgeworth attire.
We can imagine once the buses arrive from Maitland, there'll be plenty of black and white as well sport across the field. Huge day for both clubs, really. Maitland obviously playing their first ever top-tier grand final. Edgeworth 5 in a row, and an incredible achievement for them, and even more so if they can get the championship win. It'll be another year with silverware to their name. There's maybe a chance here for Connor Henderson. He was the grand final hero last year. He scored the lone goal in their 1-0 win. Just hoofing it down the field once more. Kane Treble, he's trying to keep that ball. Knocked it over the sideline though. Again, Hamilton just unable to keep the ball at the moment, although they are keeping their structure well, which is what will be pleasing to the Hamilton coaches.
Yeah, it is good, and it's not easy, you know, to play such a big game, especially when you don't have the ball for long periods. Sometimes it's easy to lose your shape a little bit, to start and want to try and do things to get yourselves into the game a little bit more. But we see an attack coming now for the Jets.
Joe Langlois now knocking it out to Richardson. He goes back into the centre. Curran juggling it around. Maybe should have just taken a touch and turned, but and again Hamilton giving the ball away on that first pass, unable to just keep those early passes and just turn the Jets back around again. And again, a lot of space once cleared down the field. Jets with oodles amount of time to just get their foot on the ball and see what options they have to pass to. And you can see Hamilton sitting rather deep. Defence the key for them at the moment.
Just looking at the coaching staff there, Benny Hughes for the Newcastle Jets Academy. Fantastic player in his own right, Benny Hughes. And
maybe a chance here. Muller going for a long shot. Treble was on his outside, but he didn't use him. Shot was blocked and picked up by Fulkini there.
Yeah, I was just going to mention Q Benny and Andrew Goldman down on the sideline. They're very, very content with what they're seeing at the moment. They're sitting down. There's no anxious looks, no jumping around, no shouting instructions. Quite refreshing to see, actually. Coaches letting the players go about their business, but obviously they're quite content with where things are at the moment. So while there's no goals, the game plan is being executed.
We can imagine it's being executed probably for both teams as well. 0-0 scoreline still here at Magic Park on Bar TV Sports. Huge NPL Northern New South Wales grand final day here today. This is the second of 3 matches. With just over 7 minutes remaining in this first half between the Newcastle Jets and Hamilton Olympic. Jets finished in second place last year, led in both the goals department and defensive departments. Only conceded 19 goals this year, the lowest of any team in the competition, and scored a huge amount as well. Finished with 65 goals over the course of the year, 17 of those coming for one of their right forwards, Nick Martinelli. He's actually scored 5 goals in the last 2 games over the finals. Talk about a big game player.
It's exactly what you want from your strikers. You want them not just scoring goals, but you want them scoring goals in big games. So obviously Nick Martinelli he's done that so far, and he'll be itching to put a couple in the old onion bag today in the grand final, no doubt.
A heading battle going on now. Muller rose up well, but he missed it. Stewart now in behind looking for Henderson. He's got 2 coming across to him there. It's a long throw now. No one there to find the flick on, and Walkini able to come and collect it. And now gets it going quickly over to Knowles. Very tactical game of football this. We saw the last game, Jets scoring a lot of goals early on. It changes the landscape of a game when there's goals early in a match, but when it's 0-0 for a long time, it's a big struggle. It's a great feed there from Kane Treble, but he gives the ball away and then wins it back. So he's done well in the end. Jez Murray almost getting caught out there. Bit of pressure there from Martinelli, but back to Treble's feet. It's a good ball. Finding Muller and a brilliant touch. He's in on goal here. Could it be the first of the grand final? Over the bar.
I'll tell you what, Q, that would have been some goal.
Well, the ball into the feet of Muller, and then the turn. Unbelievable, not just on the skill and the reactions, but the strength as well to hold off the defender, to get in behind then. Showed some quick feet as well, the agility to keep going. It's all there.
Fantastic play. Kane Treble to start with. We were talking about just before, Q, about being able to keep the ball to allow people time to get in better positions. Kane Treble had a bit of a mazy dribble in the middle of the park. Back to the goalkeeper. He found space to get the ball back again. So we see the Jets on the attack now down the right-hand side.
Long cross into the box. It might be a bit of a handful for Murray. He has to punch it away. And now back into the area again from Curran. Falls down, might go for Bailey. Wells does so. His shot goes wide. And some opportunities starting to open up now as we edge closer to the end of this first half.
Yeah, good chance, Bailey Wells. Someone of his quality probably would have liked to have put that on target, but good little passage. I just want to go back to the ball from Treble into Muller. It was a fantastic pass, or probably over 30 or 40 metres. And the first touch from Muller to roll his defender, get him behind and put himself on path to a shot on target was quite fantastic.
Hopefully we might be able to get a replay of that in the half-time break, because it was probably one of the highlights of this first half so far. Henderson flicks it on. Thought there was a shout for handball. Is a shout for handball. Going to be just on the edge of the box here. Prime position for crossing this ball into a danger area.
Yeah, good refereeing as well. He saw that one straight away, and he let the ball roll to see if there was any advantage for Hamilton Olympic. There wasn't. So he's brought it back for a free kick, and that's a really dangerous position here for the Newcastle Jets. As we see them number up, there's a lot of height in this Hamilton team in the white shirts. So they'll be looking to put this one into a dangerous area. See if they can get something on target.
It's going to be Muller standing behind it, as you just saw before as well on your screens. Matt Comerford in the crowd, former Maitland FC striker, played there last season. Unfortunately, didn't play this year due to injury, but now Chance Muller. Good ball into the box. It's headed on there, I think from the Jets, but Maybe I've seen that wrong because the referee, Keegan Pulick, says goal kick to come. And now we can see all the Maitland FC players rolling in the grey shirts. Ready for the big main event, the first grade match against Edgeworth Eagles coming at 3 p.m.
And you know what, it's grand final day. We've spoken about it before. It's great, but if people listening there, or if they're are at the game and thinking, for players like Matt Thompson or Nick Calburn, it's just another game. They go through the motions. Well, I was doing a bit of fishing around on social media today, and I can tell you that both players are very, very excited about this game today.
I'll come back to that in just a second as Archibald puts the ball in the box. Force for... It's gone wide there. Blocked my vision a little bit, but Pollard Smith was a man that took the shot on.
Didn't miss by a lock cue. It's just slid past the far post from as Pollard was facing the goals.
You can see on the replay, a great shot, just cracking it across the face of goals.
Had just worried a little bit about that one, but very grateful to see it hit the back fencing.
We're bordering the last couple of minutes now of this first half. As you're saying though, Pete, huge for both players this, especially those of the Maitland players. They've been starved of success for a long time out there. Now they've got a side to do it. As we turn back to our attention to this game, Archibald going for the shot. Murray collects it. Wasn't a real clean shot of sorts, bobbling around on the ground, but those can be hard for goalkeepers to defuse.
Yeah, just didn't catch that one like we would want to. Yeah, look, the Maitland guys, we're talking about Matt Thompson played for his country, he's played hundreds of A-League matches, captained the Newcastle Jets. Nick Calburn's played for his national team at under 20s level, maybe under 23s.
And 23s, yep.
Played 100 or so A-League games, but you can feel the excitement from these guys about playing with this group of players in grand final day. So it's no matter whether it's your first grand final or your 10th or your 100th game, whatever it is, it's a big day, and it does mean a lot.
As we said, Maitland playing in their first ever championship deciding game. We'll look back at this game as we border the end of this first half. Maybe could Hamilton find something? Connor Henderson tried a little flick there, but it didn't really work out well for him. Stewart now flicking it onto Uni, but unable to get a hold of it.
Yeah, Uni there just needs to get in front of his defender. He's a big boy. He just needs to probably get in front, make himself an option.
That does it for the first half here at Magic Park in the 20 years NPL Northern New South Wales Grand Final. It is still 0-0. Hamilton Olympic having one chance that was disallowed. Goalkeeper was ruled to be obstructed and unable to make a play on it. That's one of the closest we've come. A couple of chances as well for both sides. Some long shots just going a bit high, a bit wide as well. But it's been a rather struggle of a first half. And we'll just go down to CT, our sideline reporter for this game. He's on the sideline. We'll just go down to him.
Yeah, thanks, Q. I'm joined by Daniel. Daniel, thanks for joining us again. Look, I won't hold you up. We'll keep walking. It's first half. How have you seen it pan out?
Yeah, good. We've been disciplined, doing what we needed to do. Last 10 minutes we started to get a little bit fatigued, I think, and tired in those areas because they're putting in a fair bit. But our game plan's gone very well. Just need to now be clinical when we need to.
Yeah, cool. And second half, any changes for you?
Not at the start, but there's definitely some good ones coming.
I'll just hold up there so we don't bump into some cameras. Look, I'll let you go, but just finally, structurally, will you change anything up apart from some substitutions you'll make?
We'll just wait and see how they come out, but we've got a good structure at the moment. It's just making sure that we're tight throughout the midfield and then we can press when we need to.
And where's the game going to be won, do you think?
I think in the counter-attacks at the moment. It seems like that sort of game. So it's a team that falls or lapses a little bit in that counter that might get stung.
Yep, good answer. Well, we enjoy the second half and we appreciate you coming in and helping us out. Q, back up to you.
Thank you, CT. Brilliant to have him down on the sideline doing some interviews for us. Fantastic here on Bar TV Sports. Pete, what's your opinion on that first half? As we said, a bit of a struggle at the moment. Still 0-0 here. Where do you see the game being won and lost in the second half?
Yeah, I think Daniel Dawkins down there is pretty much on the money. I think if you gave the script to each coach before the game, it probably wouldn't look a whole lot different than what we saw pan out there. You know, Jets with lots of possession, controlled large parts of the game. Hamilton prepared to just sit in and just soak up a little bit of pressure and try and work on transition, get players like Muller onto the ball in broken play. So, you know, while no goals in the first half, I think both coaches will be fairly content where things sit at the minute. But this game's going to be won on a fine margin. I can see, you know, a bit of a transition moment, broken play, individual piece of brilliance, or even a set piece, I think is going to decide this one. So we'll see if there's any changes in the sheds at half time, but a really good start to this grand final, Q.
Well, second half is still yet to come, and it is only a few minutes away, so make sure you don't go anywhere. We'll have a bit of a break here, Pete, at Magic Park for this grand final day here on Bar TV Sports. We'll be back in just a moment.
You can be whatever you want to be. Be a game designer. Be a winemaker. Be an educator. Be a makeup artist. Be hands-on. Be industry trained. Be in demand. Be smart with your money through affordable programs at TAFE. Scholarships and fee support available. Be ambitious. Enroll today.
NBN News, nightly at 6.
Extinguishing the blaze took more than 2 hours. It caused extensive damage to number 9 and spread across into number 11 before it was brought under control.
According to Knights CEO Philip Gardner, this was a mutual decision with Nathan Brown in the club's best interest.
Driving into chaos on the morning commute. The M1 swallowed by smoke west of Lake Macquarie.
NBN News, nightly at 6.
TAFE New South Wales summer football has really helped towards that. It's important to keep the guys and girls being able to play through the off-season, keep their skills up. TAFE have been great providing balls, bibs and other equipment for the competition. It's really helping us out.
It's a great way for everyone to keep active and keep in touch with their mates over the summer, and yeah, we're happy to put it on for everyone and for TAFE to be on board.
Hello and welcome back here to Magic Park here on NPL and Northern New South Wales Grand Final Day on Bar TV Sports. It is great to be with you once again here on this beautiful day here in Broadmeadow. My name is Quentin Connors, also known as Q. I'm joined by Broadmeadow Magic legend who's won a few grand finals here actually over the years, but 0-0 here in this under-20s grand final. Hamilton Olympic having a couple of chances, so too the Newcastle Jets. As we are underway here once more. Knocked down into the corner from Hamilton Olympic. And Pete, for those who didn't watch in the first half, a very, wow, yeah, chance here. We'll get there in a moment. Muller sliding through, and it wasn't a free kick, says referee Keegan Pulick, but as we were saying, first half was a rather cagey affair. Both teams almost a bit hesitant to try a bit of different things and whatnot. Hamilton especially, they're sitting rather deep at the moment and just looking to defend. How do you kind of see this panning out in the second half now?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, Q. We're just talking off camera about how this is going to break this game, and it's almost a situation of who is going to change first. Is it Hamilton going to kind of break away from their really structured defensive patterns, happy to sit in and soak the pressure up and try and get the Jets on transition, or are the Jets going to change something and try and go after it a little bit more, or change some shape, or change some players around? So it's cagey, and it's a real football battle, and both coaches are going to earn their money in this second half to try and break this deadlock, I think.
I think I said to you as we were going off air as well that it's a classic grand final match, this one, where no one budging an inch. It's just, as you said, a battle at the moment, which is brilliant to see. This is what you want on grand final day.
It is, and it's got that feel about this game. It's just waiting for someone to take it by the scruff of the neck and just kind of own the game, for want of a better word. Whether that's doing something in the front third to try and create an opportunity, or a really big display in midfield to try and break a deadlock. It just has that feel like it just wants someone to take control of it.
Maybe a chance here for the Jets. Nick Martinelli with his foot on the ball, trying to give it back to Archibald, but his pass is just a little bit too long. Jez Murray collects it. Scanning my eye across the field, it doesn't look like either team has made any substitutions for the second half at half time. So back out here as we started. We have said earlier in the broadcast that Jets are the definite favourites heading into this one. They finished in second place. They scored 65 goals this season, conceded just 19. Hamilton in fourth as a cross comes into the box. There's no one really there for Hamilton. Maybe on the volley though. Not to be.
No, there was no one there, but it was a fantastic cross. And that's where Hamilton, I think, just need to probably do a little bit better. They're going to have limited of those opportunities. They're not going to come around too often. So when they do get those chances, they really need to get players into the box, into those attacking moments, to really want to attack the ball and to get on the end of things.
Jared Muller there, the man who took the shot. He's been in terrific form for the Olympic boys this year. Scored 11 goals. He's been the star. Some first grade experience also. Kane Treble, another man that's played a bit of first grade this year.
Good tackle, Patrick Bond there. Something we haven't spoken a lot about today, Q, but he's a very, very good player. Patrick Bond, the number 5 for the Newcastle Jets. Quite a tall boy, but a really good footballing brain, good technically.
Again, Patrick Bond, as you were just saying, Pete. Another block shot there, or block cross, and corner kick to come now for Hamilton.
Yeah, just one of those players that probably doesn't get the accolades because he really just does his job. He's one of those players that the coaches really like, but maybe the commentators don't give enough mention to. So well done, Paddy. Good start to the second half.
Yeah, his team is really big on this corner though. Into the box is a good corner as well, just a bit long. Cleared away for now. Alex Grant on the volley. Might be dipping back down, it was, but didn't really trouble Volkini in the end. Nice little juggle there by Alex Grant in the middle of the field. Nice volley, but maybe it was a bit to the different side of the goalkeeper, Freddie Volkanini.
No, but it's a shot on target. It's just cumulative effect. That's what Hamilton will want to see more of. Whether it's a shot up into the top corner or a shot similar to what we just saw that the goalkeeper takes pretty easily. It's just good to get that continuation of attacks.
Maybe a chance here. Kane Treble on the ball. His touch is a bit heavy though. It's just too long. And a game opening up in this second half. We said what was going to give, who was going to change their style. It seems a little bit that both teams have changed their style. Like we saw earlier, the Jets were just trying to keep the ball a lot, not really forcing any passes, just playing short. Hamilton as well, they were trying to play on the counter-attack a lot. It's almost switched a little bit now in both favours. Jets now playing a couple of early balls long into the box, trying to get in behind the defence, while Hamilton look to be trying to keep the ball a bit more.
Yeah, I think the opportunity for Hamilton, when they do go on transition, as we've seen a couple of times early in this half, is going to be wider than it has been as we see an opportunity.
So brilliant there, ball for there from Muller, but it was just a nice little touch. I'm not sure which defender from the Jets got the touch on it, but enough to divert the opportunity for Hamilton.
We saw in the first half, Q, a lot of the transition and the counter attacking was going very central from Hamilton. We saw Muller on one occasion get a bit of joy, but usually the two centre backs from the Jets are pretty content to stay at home. Pat Bond, we spoke about, is very disciplined.
Brennan Knowles and Muller, a bit of a battle there.
Whereas the two wider fullbacks are more interested in joining in the attacks from time to time. So I just wonder whether there's been some instructions as we see a change from Hamilton Olympic.
Seems like the first change of the day. Vince Uni coming off the field, I should say. Coming onto the field, as we were mentioning earlier, Pete, Bailey Blumel, the man who scored 7 goals this year, and in fact as well in the under-18s grand final 2 years ago against the Newcastle Jets. Hamilton Olympic won 4-0. 3 of those goals came from Bailey Blumel. So a man who scored in grand finals before, he scored this year as well, and may prove to be, we kind of questioned earlier why he was sitting on the bench when he scored so many goals. Considering the way that this game has gone for the first 45 minutes or so, this may be a bit of a masterstroke.
Yeah, I think so, and they've brought him on play maybe a little bit deeper in a 10 role.
Yeah, and sending Jad Muller onwards.
Yeah, I think that's definitely an intent from the Hamilton bench. As I was just saying before, Q, I think I might get a little bit more joy in those transition moments coming from a little bit wider areas and then looking to get in and around the back of the Newcastle Jets rather than just going direct straight down the middle of the pitch. So we'll see if that's been something they've spoken about at half-time or whether I'm just talking a bit of rubbish.
The substitute may just spark a little bit in the Hamilton offense. Blumel has had 7 goals this year. Archbold now with the ball. Finds Wells on the edge of the box. In behind it again. Archbold across the face of goal, but some brilliant defending there. I think it was the foot of Kai Fashon, I think. Either way, some brilliant work there. It was a nice bit of football there from the Jets as well. Good defending to snuff it out. Jez Murray able to take a bit of a sigh of relief on that occasion to just collect the ball. He came out to try and stop the cutback.
A really good piece of defending there. Put his body on the line. Great timing. Not only did he just try and clear the ball away, actually just kind of passed it back to his goalkeeper, which was even better.
Some desperation there from Hamilton. Maybe the first chance of the first half now. A long cross into the box. Kane Treble was the target. Kept in there by Pollard Smith. And that's where the Jets can be so dangerous. So far we've seen Hamilton look the most threatening when they're putting those long balls over in behind the defence, looking for the likes of Muller and Uni when he was on the field as well. But where the Jets seem to be most dangerous a lot of the time is those quick little passes around the edge of the 18-yard box. We know how good they are technically, as we just saw on that occasion as well. Bailey Wells and Blake Archbold combining. There's maybe a chance now here. Muller dancing through the defence and winning a free kick.
He's been handy today, Muller. He's probably been the one from Hamilton who's probably asked the most questions. He's put himself about. He's been prepared to take a touch and face the defenders. And as we saw on that occasion there, he's happy to dribble, make defenders make decisions.
He's getting a clip there by Naveen Richardson. Definite free kick and in a good position as well. Hamilton probably would have liked this one a bit more square to the goal. It's going to be a bit hard to get a shot away from this angle, but potentially perfect from a left footer. But it's going to be Bloomer with his right foot instead. Into the box, no. One towards goal, but Volkini doing well to save that one to his left.
Yeah, Volkini not too troubled about that one. It was a good save without being too tested. They all need saving though, Q, don't they?
They do, as Bloomel now. Doing well. He's been lively since he's come on. Treble now. Crunching tackle there from Brennan Knowles, and he wins a goal kick as well. So some brilliant defending on show from both sides in this second half early on.
It's a very good tackle there. He has to get that one absolutely spot on. His timing was A1 there. Otherwise, he's probably given away a free kick and a yellow card in a dangerous area.
You can see there, I mean,
magnificent tackle.
If Treble gets another touch there, it's either a free kick and a yellow card, or Treble's in on goal. So he had to get that, as you said, absolutely perfectly right. He did so, though.
I saw the Jets this half played a few of the more longer diagonal passes, maybe trying to move. See Bailey Wells.
He's got a chance to cross it in here. It's a bit long, though. Way too long in the end. Over for a throw in the far side.
Yeah, not his best cross there. Good movement though from Bailey Wells, looking to get in behind. It's probably the first time we've actually seen him look to get in beyond the Hamilton defence, so it's a good sign for the Jets. I was just going to say, there's a couple of longer diagonal balls from side to side, more so from right to left. Just wonder whether Benny Hughes has identified there's an opportunity to try and move Hamilton around a little bit more laterally, a little bit quicker than they did in the first half, just to try and see if they can move as a group as well as they did in the first half.
Yeah, as you were saying, I mean, the defensive structure of Olympic in the first half was rock solid, played very compact together. And as you said, maybe trying to just spread them apart a little bit with some longer, wider balls. At the moment, though, Hamilton holding pretty steadfast. Still 0-0 here. 52 minutes gone in the 20 years NPL Northern New South Wales Grand Final here at Magic Park on Bar TV Sports. We should remind viewers as well that in recent years we haven't actually had extra time and penalty shootouts in the younger grades. This year we do. So if it stays 0-0 for another 30 minutes, we're going for some more minutes after that.
Yeah, and it's a good change. It's a good change. You know, these players in the under 20s and the 18 age group, they've played a long season. They've put in a lot of effort. So sometimes to go straight to penalties, you feel a little bit ripped off.
It's a ball in the box now. It's a looping ball. May still end up to be dangerous, but in the end, the Jets doing well. And now maybe looking to break on the counter. Martinelli's wanting it. Instead, he's going to give it to Wells. Wells' touches let him down, but it's fallen to Archbold. And Archbold going for goal! I thought maybe that just might nestle itself into the top left corner. Instead, just whipping past the post.
Tell you what, that did not miss by a lot.
Incredible effort by Blake Archbold.
Absolute rocket of a shot.
See here on the replay, just looked up straight away. Went for goal. Jez Murray probably a little bit worried about that one. You'd have to think.
Yeah, Jez Murray, I'm sure he'll say that he had that covered and he's left it. But
brilliant angle here.
Wow.
Just whistling past the post. Still 0-0 here. Still level. No break to the deadlock just yet. Henderson, he was the man last year. He came off the bench for Hamilton in the 20 years grand final. It was 0-0 in that game between them and Maitland. There's a corner kick to come here for Olympic. It was 0-0 last year at McDonald Jones Stadium. Connor Henderson came on from the bench, proved to be the winner. You have to think as well, as we get a bit closer to the end of this one, or as we near the halfway point of the second half, that maybe it's just going to be 1 or 2 goals in it.
Yeah, it does definitely have that that feeling that it's just going to take a moment. See another corner there. Yeah, it's just going to take a moment of brilliance or a mistake to define this one. I think very limited chances at both ends.
Maybe whoever scores next is going to win the game. Chance here going to the close post, and it was Henderson. The man I was just talking about who's flicked it on. It's just gone across the face of the goal though, and he was looking for that far post. Just trying to nestle it inside there.
It's a good header. He made a good run at the near post and just tried to guide that one back across the goals into the far post, and just got a little bit too much on it. I'll tell you what, when you're coaching and you're looking to make substitutions that have an effect on the game, it's easier said than done. But Daniel Dawkins and Paul DeVitas bringing on Bailey Blummel have done exactly that. He's been fantastic since he's come on. He's been in everything.
I think pushing on Jared Muller as well into the 9 has been a bit revolutionary as well for this game also, because he's been rather crafty in that 9 position as that last attacker, as a bit of a hopeful ball there from Alex Grant because it goes too long.
Yeah, you're right, Q. He just asks different questions. He's a player that likes the ball at his feet. He likes to run at players. He's not going to hold it off and lay it up and bring others into play. He likes to take it on. He likes to get in behind. So just a different set of questions for the Jets to answer now with Muller up top and Blummel in behind.
Treble as well. He's been devastating so far. He's got the ball again. Low cross into the back of the net now. And you wouldn't guess who it is. Connor Henderson once again. He gets one in the grand final. Hamilton Olympic 1, Jets 0.
And Q, the two things we spoke about there, the pressing and harrying the Jets and trying to get them to cough the ball up in dangerous areas was absolutely in effect on that occasion. And the second one is the runs into the box, someone wanting to actually get on the end of something, someone showing some intent to get into the box, and Harrison's just done exactly that.
Brilliant work.
Stretching and lunging and...
Brilliant work from Ken Treble as well to win that ball. Had the poise as well to just look up and see who was open in the middle. And then, as you said, great run from Connor Henderson. He proves to be maybe the grand final hero for the second year in a row. Martinelli now. And after the Jets really dominated possession in the first half, probably had the better of the chances as well in the first half. Hamilton Olympic have turned it around in this second stanza and have the lead now to show for it as well. Jets will be straight back onto the ball though. They're going to try and find an equaliser quickly. Sherritt coming out to Langlois. Archibald, nice little flick to Bailey Wells, and Hamilton just cramming most of their players back now. It's only Jared Muller who's sitting above the ball at the moment. To Ghost pass as well. Bailey Wells put our focus back on the game now. Brilliant run. Maybe a shot now from Pollard Smith. He can't get much on it though. He had the space for the shot, but just duffed it into the ground.
Magnificent little run, Bailey Wells. It's a joy to watch when he's in that mood. He's got the ball to his feet there. He's evaded 2 or 3 Hamilton defenders.
Brilliant dribbling skills around the edge of the box. Pollard Smith, though, he was unable to get a clean shot away. And Hamilton Olympic back in the position third again. Plummer with it, but he loses it now. And Pollard Smith trying to get going quickly, linking up with Bailey Wells now. And then looking for Martinelli in behind. It might fall for Martinelli. In the end, some good defending there.
It is one thing that Hamilton are going to have to be conscious of is, while it's good to be able to go after another one and try and put this game to bed, more numbers they do push forward, the more that they're going to potentially leave them open for transition for the Jets.
Long corner coming in now. Bailey Wells, nice little touch, but he's going to get out strength there.
He's never going to win that battle there, Bailey Wells.
Tom Stewart, too strong. And another visit from our helicopter friends.
Sounds like the Navy SEALs are going to join this kid.
Just trying to get a good view of the game. There's another substitution to be made now for Hamilton Olympic. Although, is it going to be one for Hamilton and one for the Jets as well. So coming off, Connor Henderson, the goal-scoring hero, he's off the field. Coming off for him is Elijah Harrison. Well, coming off for the Jets is going to be their number 9 as Ethan Pollard-Smith, the man who just went close to scoring. Coming onto the field is Matt Burton. So Burton and Harrison on for the Jets and Olympic. Brilliant from Connor Henderson, the goal-scoring man, as I said. He didn't score many this season, but wouldn't have scored any more important than the one he's just done tonight as Tadeusz O'Shea and Jacob Kresner coming in with a crunching, sliding and challenge there.
Strong tackle, Kresner.
Well, they are behind, needing a goal in this one with less than 20 minutes remaining. It's an interesting stat to point out that the Jets this season, there's some nice link-up play there between the new men on the field. Matt Burton, as I was saying, the Jets have actually had 17 different goal scorers this season, which is a remarkable effort considering that they probably have only had about 25 or so players play, and 17 of them have scored. So although they're behind, it's Jacob Kresner, some nice defensive work, and he's going to win a free kick as well now. Although the Jets are behind, things may look a little bit glim for them at the moment. They can score goals. It's Matt Burton just a bit too eager on that occasion.
Yeah, good piece of work there from Jacob Kresner. Just got his body in front, earned the foul. Interesting little piece of trivia. Jacob Kresner's dad, Jim, who I played with back in the day, very good defender himself. He's made the move over to Broadmeadow Magic in a director of football role. Not sure whether he's got a blue or a red shirt on today, Q.
Well, Kresner's the man, he puts it into the box. It's in a dangerous area. It's going to be a corner kick as well. Came off a Jets man last. Kresner, one of those players as we mentioned, have had quite a bit of first grade experience this year, filling in the usually left back position. Goal here for Hamilton, certainly you would think sealed this game, at least for the moment anyway. As referee just kick and pull it, just making sure that there's no argy-bargy going on inside the box there. Now the corner kick will come in. It's front stick, and it's nodded away there by Sherritt. Martinelli coming in from wide to try and win it, put enough pressure on though to win the throw-in at least. A chance there for Hamilton if Harrison could keep his footing, but mistake there, wayward pass. Jets not really looking like themselves, not looking like the Jets we saw in the first half at least.
Yeah, they look a little bit rattled at the moment, Q, and that's a couple of mistakes just creeping in, which we certainly didn't see in the first half, and it's a little bit something you wouldn't expect to see.
There's a couple of appeals for a free kick there on Jared Muller, but he says no. A lot of magpies flying around Magic Park here today, isn't there?
Good one,
not sure if that's a sign of what's to come, but...
No eagles?
Yeah, no eagles leading down, which is strange, so... Maitland will like to think that is some kind of good omen, although I think it's going to be the 14 players that are going to decide whether they win their first championship here today, a bit later on. 3 p.m. kickoff between themselves and Edgeworth Eagles. Change our focus back to this game because Olympic knocking it over the sideline. Fiakis there doing well and to retreat back. Richardson with a throw in. 15 minutes to go here in the under-20s NPL Northern New South Wales. I better say Northern League 1 there. There's maybe a chance here for a penalty.
Oh, wow.
Hey, your hands went up. You think it's a penalty?
Yeah, I thought first glance, I thought that was a penalty.
We might see if we can get it on the replay in just a second, but huge moment there for the Jets youth.
I just thought there was some hands around him and
you just see
nowhere
there
near the ball.
Going to go back again in that replay, and
he's made contact very early.
Maybe there could be a shout for a penalty. Their hands were around him. Although referee Keegan Pulick will probably say that I think it was Bailey Wells wasn't going to get to the ball, that he's let it go too far beyond him. Now he gets a shot away though, and blocked well by Hamilton, and that's something that's been so vital to them in this game. I mean, if you think about the second half, there hasn't been all too many goal-scoring chances, and maybe even you can say the first half as well. They've shut down a lot of potential goal-scoring shots.
Yeah, they have, and they've done their homework. They've got numbers in and around their dangerous players. Bailey Wells has found it really difficult to get into any space. He has done well on a few occasions, but generally Hamilton have done well. They haven't given much space and time to Martinelli either. Curran's found it very tight in the middle of the park, so obviously Hamilton have done their homework and they've executed pretty well so far.
Now that they have the lead, you can see just defence is their focus, and the Jets struggling a little bit you can see a bit of frustration and a couple of hopeful passes now being knocked from side to side. Another one there, but it's fallen for Archibald. Maybe a chance here for a penalty. Not to be either, and again, I think he was expecting one. I'm not sure if that was a great enough shout as the last chance, but
I didn't see a lot in that one. From the way he reacted, though, there must have been something in it because his hands went up straight away, and he asked a question of the referee, but yeah, I didn't have quite as good a view of that one, Q. I wasn't as convinced.
Yeah, neither for me on that occasion either. I think first one maybe some merit to it. On that occasion from Blake Archibald, I don't think so, but nonetheless, he's getting in some promising positions for the Newcastle Jets side. Right idea there from the Jets on that occasion, but it was just a bit of a hard pass there from Matt Burton.
Come on in, let's go, boys.
Over the sideline. Show it now, and you can see just how deep Hamilton is sitting at the moment there. Two holding midfielders, Stewart and Grant, just trying to clog up that middle of the field, and they're doing really well so far in this one. Treble now. Good ball in behind, and he's onside as well. Maybe a chance to put the game to bed. Penalty. Yeah. Well, we thought there was a chance down the other end just moments ago, and then a brilliant ball there from Kane Treble, finding Jared Muller, and in on goal. There had to be a penalty.
Yeah, no doubt for me on that one, and the Jets are a bit disappointed there. They've turned the ball over deep in the attacking half, and one pass. Yeah, definite penalty there for mine. Sherritt's just gone down very early. He's nowhere near the ball for mine.
Yeah, definite penalty, and it's going to be the man who's won the penalty as well to take it, Jared Muller. And you'd have to think if you can score this with just over 10 minutes to go, it might just win them the grand final. It's in. Keeper's gone the right way, but he just hasn't done enough to get it away from goal. He's angry with himself, but that makes it 2 for Hamilton. Jared Muller, the man who's worked tirelessly up front today, he gets a deserving goal. And Pete, do you think that's the grand final?
Well, it looks that way. If Hamilton can keep their heads here and just continue to roll out this very disciplined, very structured game plan, I find it very, very hard to see how the Jets can find their way back into this one with 10.5 to go. But that second goal for the Jets, I'll be so disappointed. As I said, they've turned the ball over deep in their attacking half, and one pass, it was, with all due respect, it wasn't even a fantastically cultured pass. It was a long pass straight up the middle of the park that kind of bisected Sherrod and Bond, and just allowed Hamilton to get in behind. And obviously Sherrod had to make a decision, and he made an attempted tackle, and he's given away a penalty. But yeah, more so the reaction from the pass from the Jets will be disappointed with, more so than Sherrod giving away the penalty, I would imagine.
Jared Moore just proving to be such a handful up front, and I think we said it just earlier in the second half when they made the initial substitute, when Bailey Blumwell came onto the field, that it may have been a coaching masterstroke, and I think it's proven to be that. Blumwell's been doing well in defensively as well, especially since taking the lead. Now a shot, long shot here, and Jez Murray doing well with his big right hand coming across to knock it wide of the goal.
Good save, Jez Murray. Good strike on target. Made Jez Murray work. We haven't seen a whole lot of that through this game. That's what you get from experienced players when they're called into action. They react, and Jez Murray reacted very well.
You don't want to concede now for Hamilton. They've got the game in their hands at the moment. Low cross, and it's just a terrible cross in the end. Treble again looking to recreate what they just pulled off moments earlier.
You can see what Langlois was trying to do on that corner. He was trying to just disguise a pass, try and play something in, knowing that they don't have a lot of luck with 50-50 headers, but just got a little bit wrong and it was cut out.
Blake Archibald, he's been the go-to man for the Jets so far, the danger man as well. It's a free kick now, just outside the box. Matt Burton was the one that was brought down. Interesting to see who will be on the edge of this one now, because Archibald's been putting in some good shots.
Double change cue for the Jets.
Double change coming in, and number 4 coming onto the field for the Jets. It's going to be Teo Greaves, and then number 14 as well, also coming onto the field, Jackson Pereira.
This might have instigated a little change in shape, maybe 3 at the back, trying to get more bodies forward. So Sherritt's coming out probably onto this right-hand side.
With just over 7 minutes to go, may as well try your luck. Martinelli straight into the wall, and Langlois very late. Things not working out like they want at the moment, the Jets. Yeah, substitute made here though for Hamilton. There was a bit of a late shot there from Joe Langlois.
Yeah, might just have put the substitute on hold here, Paul DeVitas, to see how the injured player is.
Seems like Matt Daly was the man who's going to come on.
It looks like he's going to come on. We'll just see who it's for.
It might be for. It's not Bailey Blumwell either. Actually, Tim Stewart was the man on the ground, but
looks likely that he's the one going to make way Q on the far side of the pitch.
He's still walking over there, and no one else has come off the field, so it is going to be Tim Stewart coming off the field. Matt Daly coming onto the field, and another man who scored goals this year for Hamilton Olympic in the under-20s. 5 goals from his appearances this year. So rather interesting that the Hamilton coaching staff elected to keep Blumwell and Daly on the bench, but despite them scoring 12 goals between them, but it's worked out pretty well so far, hasn't it?
It sure has.
Shirt trying to get forward quickly, but he's lost possession on that occasion. Harrison with it. With a bit of pressure, and there's no need for him to force anything at the moment, but he's given the ball away. Now it's back in his possession. A couple of step overs, couple of twinkle toes, but didn't work out in the end.
We're talking before, Q, about the players arriving for the big game. See the superstar Ben Homer has made his way into the commentary box, just doing some vocal exercises, getting his vocals moving, ready for a big call.
A couple of lalas in there as well. He's no CT or smudge though. CT down on the sideline, ready for a couple of post-match interviews.
Damien will be here probably 30 seconds before kickoff, I'd say, Q.
We're set to be in almighty clashes. This one is going to be ruled as a goal kick for the Jets. Crowd looking rather strong as well now. A lot of
black and white.
A lot of black and white. A lot of anticipated figures out there. You can see
a lot of Maitland have claimed that hill as their own. They've got the feathers up on the Maitland Football Club feathers on the hill.
Well, they've got some of their younger junior players as well sitting down there in their Maitland jerseys and Maitland hats as well. Joe Langway, he might be able to make something happen here. Nice challenge there from Stewart. Richardson, long ball into the back post, might find Martinelli. It's into the hands of Murray though.
Tight angle, Martinelli just couldn't do enough with it. Tough header coming from not a lot of pace on the ball, had to generate all the pace himself.
Well, a goal there though would have changed the scope of things. Maybe set up a grandstand finish, but at the moment Hamilton still 2 goals ahead. And they've got one hand on the 20 years championship, which will be their second in a row. As we're talking about the large amounts of Maitland fans, it seems the Edgeworth fans have congregated over the far side of the field instead. You can see a few of them behind there near the other canteen and the Portaloos as well. Players will have to scope out just exactly where their fans are when they score a goal and know where to head to.
I'm sure they'll hear them, Q.
So this will be an absolute cracker, this one, and one of the few grand finals that you don't really have a favourite in. Although Maitland finished on top of the table, they were 5 points clear of Edgeworth. Let's not forget the premiership went down right to the final day in first grade between those two sides. Both sides were in the round of 32 in the FFA Cup. And of course, you can't ever rule out the Edgeworth Eagles. Maybe a chance here though for Archibald. It's a great ball across, but even better defending there.
Great piece of defending.
Sean doing well and then he's done that a few times today as well, just sticking out the leg when he's needed. Some desperation style defending at the moment. Long ball in, looking for Archibald, only finds Kresner. Treble as well, nodding it on, but Richardson puts it back into the danger area. Up forward here to Langlois. His shot's no good.
Yeah, just couldn't really organise themselves quick enough there, the Jets. They found themselves with some good possession in and around the box, but couldn't really fashion a shot on target or a little combination play to get themselves in behind. Probably been the story of their afternoon.
So close yet so far at the moment, and it just seems to be that final pass, that final shot, bit of execution just lacking for the Jets here this afternoon. They went in as favourites. Hamilton though, they put in a tremendous performance. Very astute performance too in terms of their tactics. Paid dividends. Bailey Wells now with the ball at his feet. Nice ball there. Got to be on that shot though from Teo Greaves, just on the edge of the 18-yard box. And it's just been, like you said, Pete, so many opportunities that they've had from that kind of distance, from that kind of range, and none of it's really worked out for them today.
No, it hasn't. You can see what Greaves was trying to do there. He got the ball out of his feet and tried to bend one around up into that top corner, but yeah, look, it just hasn't really happened for the Jets in that front third. They've been pretty good across most areas of the park, apart from really the one area, or probably the two areas that matter. Giving away the penalty.
Well, maybe a chance here for Kane Treble. Sorry to cut you off there, Pete. No. Kane Treble almost sneaking in. He almost deserves a goal too. He's been fantastic today as well. And as we near the end of this one, only seconds left, you would think, in the last minute of play. Remember, 20 years only playing 80 minutes. If you had to pick a man of the match, Pete, who would you be going to?
Yeah, for mine, it's probably either Treble or Muller. I probably lean towards Muller. I think he's been probably more consistent today. He's asked a lot of questions and he's worked pretty hard, especially in the times where they didn't have a lot of the possession, and he worked hard closing down and tracking back. I think he's put in a really good shift today, and more than likely he's going to be rewarded with a winner's medal.
Well, a yellow card here dished out as we go closer to the end of this one. Maybe one last chance. Jets are pushing everyone forward. It seems no one at home at the moment other than Brody Volkini. Belly rolls into the box and it's cleared away. And the full-time whistle sounds. And that confirms that Hamilton make it 2 in a row in the under-20s NPL Northern New South Wales Grand Final with back-to-back championships. A 2-0 victory for Olympic. It was a defensive masterclass in the first half. They just held on despite having not much of the ball. In the second half, they pulled out 2 goals. It was Connor Henderson who got the first, scoring his second goal in a grand final in 2 years. The last one coming to Jared Muller from the penalty spot. And the Jets, they'll be feeling a bit disappointed. As we said, they were headed into this one as favourites. Although on the big day, they just really had nothing to go in the offensive third. Not many opportunities to score. And when they did have those chances, their shots weren't good enough.
Yeah, you're right, Q. Hamilton will be very pleased. I'm sure the coaching staff will be ecstatic with the way that they rolled out their game plan and the way it was executed by their players. Hamilton had lots of periods in this game without possession, but sometimes possession doesn't tell the whole story, and 2 goals makes them champions.
Well, we'll just go down to CT. He's all in amongst it at the moment. Over to you, CT.
Yeah, thanks, Q. Look, just down here on the ground, the excitement is just amazing. The atmosphere is electric. I'm going to get a hold of Connor Henderson just shortly. Here he is right here. Connor, you're the first goal scorer. Congratulations, mate.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. It was a really big moment for me. I was pretty happy with it, yeah. Boys played pretty well.
They sure did. We'll get to that in a minute. Just talk us through the goal. What happened and how did it pan out?
Oh, well, I was calling for a sub because I was pretty tired, and then Kane just got it down the wing and just nice ball across the bottom, and then I was just in the right spot at the right time.
And a quality finish to boot. So, and then a penalty. That's exactly right. And so, look, from here, pretty exciting, isn't it? Yeah. Maybe go and have a bit of a party or something?
Yeah. We'll watch first grade and then maybe get back up, have a couple of drinks or something, yeah.
Nice one. We'll go and enjoy, and congratulations on a grand final win.
Thank you.
Cheers. All right, that was our goal scorer right there. Back up to you, Q.
Thank you, CT. Brilliant to be able to hear from Connor Henderson. A second goal in a grand final. He scored the game winner last year. He again proves to be pivotal in the big moments, Connor Henderson. He got the first one. The second came from Jared Muller from the penalty spot. And unfortunately for the Jets here today, they can't make it 2 from 2. Hamilton getting their second grand final championship title in a row. As we prepare here for the presentation, been a brilliant game, Pete. As we said, just a first half was just a grand final battle, a typical grand final battle. And the second half, though, it opened up a whole lot more, didn't it? And in the end, Hamilton just, as you said, took their chances when it mattered. They didn't have all too many, but when they came around, they took them.
Yeah, definitely. And you could kind of sense straight from the whistle in the second half that both teams really came out with a different attitude and were more positive and wanted to influence the attack. Hamilton, as I said before, their game plan was really structured, a really disciplined performance for them. They understood what they were going to come up against and what the Jets were about. Daniel Dawkins and Paul DeVitis obviously done their analysis throughout the season on this Jets team, who I must say were very good also. But just the ability and the structure and the discipline for the Hamilton guys just to sit in and soak up the possession for long periods of that game, and then to to take their limited opportunities when they had them was really impressive.
Well, Pete, thank you for joining me here on Bar TV Sports for big grand final day. Thank you for everyone else for watching. We hope you have enjoyed the Under-20s grand final. The presentation is still to come, but more importantly, the first grade, the main event, Maitland FC up against Edgeworth Eagles, is still to come in just a moment. Ben Homer will be with you for that one, so too with Damien Smith and Chris Turner. So make sure you stay on Bar TV Sports. Once this presentation is over, it is bye from us anyway. Hamilton Olympic taking out the Under-20s NPL Northern New South Wales Grand Final for yet another year.
Assistant referees Stuart Hansen and Adam Brown. And your fourth official, Cal Stammer. Thank you once again to our match officials. That brings us to the Newcastle Jets. Let's make a bit of noise for the Jets. Fantastic season and a great performance in the grand final. And we'll start the medals with Adam Sherratt, Brendan Knowles, Bailey Wells, Narveen Richardson, Matthew Burton, Joseph Langlois, Nicholas Martinelli, Jackson Pereira, Nicholas Curran, Keegan Hughes, Tal Greaves, Alexander Hilton, Brody Volkiene, Blake Archbold, Pat Bond, and Ethan Pollard-Smith. And of course it can't be done without the coaches and the guys on the bench, so Ben Hughes, Andrew Makaroff, Darren Goodhue, Andrew Goldman, and Craig Deans. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your grand finalists today, Newcastle Jets. And that brings us to our champions, Hamilton Olympic. Starting with Jez Murray, Jacob Kresnar, Jared Muller, Bailey Blumell, Elijah Harrison, Alex Grant, Kyle Thiakos, Matt Daly, Tim Stewart, Connor Henderson, Kane Treble, Kai Fashon, Tom Stewart, Vince Unif, Jack Stewart, Stephen Thiakos, and Bodie Deemer. And of course, the coaching staff and those on the bench, Daniel Dawkins, Job Callahan, Colin Tantos, Dean Taylor, and Paul DeVitis. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2019 NPL 20's champions, Hamilton Olympic!